I'm here with Hector Rodriguez. Hector, how are you?
Hello, Rob.
Welcome. This is the engineer that developed the new attachment system for the Diamond Disc. It's very different and much improved from the old system. Hector, talk to us now about how this new attachment system is going to work as you move it from tool to tool.
We got a 4-piece attachment system onto it, which consists of an arbor with a left-hand thread, a flange here which takes a 5/8 hole on the wheel, reduces it to a 1/2 inch to be able to fit on the drum of the arbor. So there's no need of any special bushing or any special tool or even a re-enlargement of the hole when it was used to be a 1/2 inch.
Right. Because we never had this metal grommet set into the disc before. This is a tremendous improvement.
Exactly, and there's another concave washer with a straight 1/2 inch hole that is just going to be a backup to it, and a left-hand thread nut. The abrasive that we incorporated onto it, it's sharper than what we used to use, and it therefore cuts cooler, allowing for a longer life on the wheel itself.
It was pretty good before, which is where we came up with the name Diamond Disc, because it cut like a diamond, but now it cuts even better than that.
It does cut even better than that, and it does cut freer and cooler than what it used to.
With your new system, you can use this on just about any rotary tool in the workshop.
That's correct.
Why don't you tell me about a little bit about how that works?
I can think of at least 5 different tools where we can use it around the workshop. I mean, we got the hand drill.
Yep. Now, with a hand drill, talk to me about, because there's a lot of different options on hand drills. This is a fairly new one, but I was at the store the other day when I bought this. I noticed that there were lots and lots and lots of the portable drills that are battery powered, and then of course these are the electric drills. Tell me the best type of drill to use the Super Diamond Disc.
The best type of drill that uses the Diamond Disc is still the corded drill. Cordless battery operated drills are not fast enough for the disc. This disc, to be able to use this disc at its maximum potential, you need the RPMs. Okay, you're going to get the RPMs only with a corded type drill.
How many RPMs are we looking for on a drill like this, Hector?
We're looking for at least 2,000 RPMs on a 7-inch disc on a drill like that. Well, this drill typically will run at around 2,500 RPMs.
Exactly.
That is plenty for get the maximum benefits of the disc.
Okay, and here we have the standard bench grinder, which we've modified a little bit to be able to accommodate the Diamond Disc. Talk to me about what we did to make this work.
Well, the bench grinder is probably the best tool around the shop that you're going to find to be able to use this disc. First, we need to strip most of the original equipment that comes with the bench grinder. That includes the guard, and take away the original grinding stone that comes with the machine. Once you do that, these are the original flanges that will hold typically a vitrified bench grinding wheel.
Okay.
We are going to reuse a couple of parts, because if you notice, there is a lot of shaft here that doesn't have any threads onto it, okay? Because being that the disc it's too thin in comparison to a normal bench grinding wheel, there's not enough threads on the shaft to be able to securely fasten the disc.
Right.
So we're going to need to space that out a little bit. In this case, we're gonna be able to just use one of the flanges. In this case, I do have a spacer, okay, that you can either pick it up at the hardware store. Okay, it's a standard brass bushing with a 1/2 inch hole on it.
Right.
Okay, or you can cut it, make your own out of a pipe. Okay, a 1/2 inch pipe would do it. You can even use your disc to cut your spacer.
Yeah, you can cut it right off of a piece of stock.
I mean, use your spacer in.
Now, could people also just use a few washers to fill up that space?
Exactly. If you have a few washers, you can stack them up and then fill them onto the shaft of the machine.
All right, but the best is this spacer. Okay.
The best is the spacer. It's going to allow the wheel to run truer. When you use your straight 1/2 inch washer, slip it in, that's going to be your backup flange, your backup washer.
Okay.
Then mount the disc on it, but being this a 1/2 inch is going to be loose, that's when we use our new reducing flange onto it. And make sure that lip in the reducing flange, it's in to the mounting arm hole of the wheel. Like such. If you notice, there's no more bouncing up and down.
Oh, I
like
see.
so.
And it takes up the space, and now
Exactly.
it's good and tight.
Exactly. It doesn't bounce up and down on the shaft. All you do now is your regular nut that comes
And that's
with
the
the
nut
machine.
that came with the machine.
Exactly. That's the
okay.
nut that comes with the machine.
Hand tight.
Well, I recommend a little bit of
A little extra.
a little extra, not too much, because then you're gonna start to bend those washers.
Now you can use
See the
you
benefits
can
of it.
use the edge of this for cutting,
Correct.
and you can use the side of it for grinding or sanding. Even in this kind of an application, as long as you bring the work over to this thing,
Exactly.
you can use it that way. Okay.
Exactly. Well,
good.
keep in mind, as long as you hold the workpiece securely onto your hands or any jig that you may have come up with to hold that work securely onto it.
Now I see that you brought a circular saw.
Correct.
How do we use it on the circular saw?
Well, most circular saws out there today come with a standard 5/8 shaft onto them.
Okay.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use everything that comes with the circular saw, and I'm just going to use a plain disc. I don't need any of the adapters
Okay.
that come with the disc to be able to use it. Now, in the past, we used to have to enlarge the hole.
Yeah, I remember
Okay.
that.
Not anymore, since we've made that hole exactly 5/8 of an inch.
Mm-hmm.
This disc will run perfectly centered on the machine, or any machine out there with a 5/8 shaft.
Okay, good.
All you do is simply mount it on the machine, get the flange that comes with the circular saw, and tighten it like so.
Now the other way that you can use the diamond disc, as we know, one of the handiest ways, especially for grinding applications, is to put it on a drill and be able to. It's portable when it's on a drill, but you can also put it on a table saw.
Correct. A table saw will definitely mount the same way as it mounts on the circular saw. Most table saws out there, 7 and 8 inch table saws,
Right.
come with a 5/8 shaft.
Okay.
That can be easily mounted at such, and you don't need any of the adapters that come with it.
Before we actually start cutting and showing people some of the tips and tricks on how to use this thing properly, we should mention the fact that before you start any home project, certainly before you use the diamond disc with any tool, you really need to protect your eyesight, and a good pair of safety glasses or a face shield is an absolute must before you start using it. Another good idea is a pair of good safety gloves. Protect your hands. Hector, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about what we can do with the diamond disc, because the super diamond disc will literally cut just about anything.
You're right. It will sand, it will grind, it will cut just about anything. Wood, plastics, PVC, ceramic tiles,
Metal, all kinds of things.
metals, carbon, steels, hardened steels as well.
One of the things we should say is that the super diamond disc, although it will cut glass, you shouldn't do it because it might shatter.
It will chatter. There's no way you can securely hold that piece of glass that you're trying to cut. What you can do is cut it with a conventional glass cutter,
Yeah.
and then smooth the edges
Oh,
with the side of the diamond disc.
oh, okay. Well, that's a great idea. All right, now let's talk a little bit about some of the things that the super diamond disc will cut. One of the things that we mentioned is wood.
You don't want to get into cutting heavy lumber, 2x4s, 4x4s. To do that, you're better off using a conventional tool for it.
Yep.
But you could easily do wood trims, finishing cuts on casing. It'll do an outstanding job because it won't rip the grain out of the wood. It'll actually sand the grain away, and it'll yield a finished cut as you're going through the wood.
So you get a nice smooth edge out of it, like for a miter cut.
Correct.
You could even use it in a miter saw like the one we have in the
You
background.
could use it on a miter saw,
Yeah.
provided it's got a 5/8 shaft.
All right, Hector, let's talk about some of the soft metals that you might find around the house that you could use super diamond disc to cut.
Okay, the most popular one out there is aluminum. We can cut aluminum threshold,
Right.
notch it, cut a little notch to it, cut it to the right proper length. We could do aluminum backed weather stripping, flashing gutters, aluminum siding for the house.
Now you could do copper as well. That's a soft metal.
Definitely, copper will definitely be a soft metal, and as you cut with it, you can, once you're done with the cut, you can grind on the side of the wheel, on the side of the disc with it, and prepare your cut for soldering.
So that's great for copper pipe and plumbing projects and the like. Let's talk about some of the hard metals that we can, because the Super Diamond Disc is so hard, it's cut so great, you can cut almost any hardness of metal made today.
The abrasive grain in the Super Disc, it's the only material that will cut hardened steel, such as a padlock, which is case hardened. In most cases, you could not penetrate those materials with any bimetal saw or a hacksaw.
So if I lose the keys or forget the combination, I don't have to call the locksmith. I can save my $50 and actually cut the lock myself.
Correct.
Now how about things like a steel fence post?
That's another great option. As you're done with the cut, you can turn it around inside and just finish the cut. Chain, it's another hard material around the house. Chain, no problem.
One of the things that we did when we were experimenting with the new Diamond Disc is we took the carbide steel blade right off of a table saw. We put the Diamond Disc on in place of this carbide. Then we cut the steel blade from that tool in half with the Diamond Disc.
That would mean no problem for the Diamond Disc.
Went right through it. It was unbelievable. How many times, I can't tell you, have we been working on a project and hit a nail or bent a nail over and stripped off the head and not be able to get that nail out without doing some damage to the wood?
Well, it's easy. Just get your Diamond Disc out, cut the nail off, and sand it down.
Now let's talk about a little bit about PVC pipe.
You're going to be able to cut straight through the wheel depending on the diameter of the pipe. There's pipes that are 3 inches in diameter that you're going to need to cut halfway and then rotate the pipe around it. The most beautiful thing about the Diamond Disc is that it will yield a finished cut on the pipe. I don't know if you've ever tried cutting pipe with a hacksaw.
Oh.
What a mess that is.
And it leaves a messy edge because it never cuts the pipe straight, and there's an angle and there's always a burr. You've got to use a file of some kind to get that off just so that you can glue it.
That's correct. Well, with the Diamond Disc here, you're just going to be able to cut through that pipe, and as you're done, the finishing job is already done once you've cut with the pipe.
Now we've just talked about ceramic tile, but masonry, you know, bricks and cinder blocks and things like that, that's the kind of a big job for the Diamond Disc, but we know it'll do it. Talk to me about how you might cut some masonry with the Diamond Disc.
You definitely don't want to be cutting huge pieces of concrete with it. It'll do the job,
right,
and it'll do it quite easily. It'll prevent you from a lot of headaches or from going out there and renting a gas handheld saw with a diamond wheel just to cut a few pieces of block or bricks. The most recommended application to cut masonry or blocks or patio blocks or bricks is score them. Score them with the Diamond Disc. Okay, you can just run a 1/4 of an inch deep score onto them. Then the block or brick will break easily at the score section, and use the size of the disc to smooth the breakage of.
Yeah, I've seen that. That works well.
You know, it works really well.
Well, so far we've only talked about, for the most part, we've only talked about the cutting edge of the Diamond Disc, but we do have the sides. Now the sides are great for grinding. The sides are great for sanding, especially on metals. Talk to me a little bit about the kinds of projects that we might get involved with where we would be using the side of the Diamond Disc to sand something down.
You can use the size of the disc to remove rust, and being that the Diamond Disc is flexible enough, you are going to be able to use a great contact area, so your sanding or grinding jobs are going to go a lot quicker.
You can use the edge of this disc to sharpen. You can sharpen tools and all kinds of things with the edge of the...
All your garden tools can be sharpened with this. I actually do my own, and it does an outstanding job. You can do it in half the time that you would normally do it with a regular sharpening stone.
Right.
Quicker, and you can even mount the lawnmower blade while it's on the lawnmower itself.
I did that myself last summer. You know, my lawnmower it had stopped cutting the grass and it was just chewing it up. So it either needed a new blade, which is very expensive, or I needed to take the blade off, bring it down to the lawnmower shop, have them, sharpen it properly. But what I did instead was I pulled off the spark plug wire, made sure that the gasoline was mostly out of it, turned it up on its side, and sharpened it while it was still. I didn't even have to take it off the lawnmower.
That's
Just
correct.
sharpened it right there, turned it back over, fired it up, and it cut the grass like it was a brand new blade.
Exactly, and it's the way it should be.
Probably saved myself $50 doing it like that.
Easily.
And it took 10 minutes. It was a great thing. Thanks for coming.
My pleasure, Rob.